Hello, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm here to talk to you about a book I really loved reading, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and the five top quotes that I loved most about the book. It was really hard to just compress them down to five, but I did my best and I'll show you today. So, first off, I thought I'd explain a little bit what the book is about and who Marcus Aurelius was. So Marcus Aurelius was one Roman emperor, after which the kingdom descended into civil war, starting with his son, if you've seen The Gladiator, was a pretty sick individual. And this book is just a collection of notes that he wrote to himself. He never thought he'd publish them. It's really interesting to see how he was such a powerful individual. He was the most powerful human on earth at that point in time. And the lessons he took from life and the lessons he wrote are as applicable to you and me and most people because the vast majority of people will never reach that status of notoriety or power. But all the things that he says are very applicable to everyday people, which is really awesome to see. And just as a last note, if you do get the book, try to get this version with the red crow. It's the best translation there is, translated by a guy called Gregory Hayes. So if you don't get this version, at least make sure that you get the version that's translated by Gregory Hayes. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So first, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Negative thoughts equals a negative life experience. We've all seen this, and whenever people are depressive or are struggling with mental health, their thoughts are not very good. The depressive state is marked by bad thoughts. And we have to understand, I think I take it a step further, and I think this is what he means by it, is that we are not islands and we should curate our environment very carefully, the people we hang around with, the things we let into our life and our minds. And this includes friends and even family. If you have a family member that constantly drags you down and makes you feel like shit, you shouldn't be in that position to begin with. Next, remember matter, how tiny our share, time, how small our allotment of it, and fate, how small a role you play in it. And this is just a lesson in staying humble and to not let ourselves get carried away by self importance. And there's actually a story, it's very real from what I know, that Marcus used to take auditions. Like people came to him asking for things and thanking him for other things. And they would always start by praising them. And Marcus had this one slave whose job was just to come up to him and say, "You are but a man," or "You are only a man," because he knew he needed to stay grounded and humble and understand that he is no god. So it's just really a lesson to step back, take a deep breath, and do the best you can, because in the end, our actions is the only thing we can control. Results, how other people will feel, that's really out of our control. And the only thing we do control is our actions. Then, third one, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. And this personally for me, I find it extremely hard, and I think it's a common experience. And I also think it's an ego preservation tactic, and I'll explain a little bit what I mean by this. We want the things that we care to about deeply to matter. Like say, for example, for me, it's with fitness. I really think fitness is important and it's good for your mental health and it's good to be a healthy person and health is wealth and all that stuff. But also I have a biased view of the world because I want this fitness thing to matter. And I believe it matters, obviously. Again, ego preservation tactic. But I'll be with my friends and because they don't work out a lot, I'm really trying to push them. And it comes from a good place, but it's like you kind of think, at least in on a surface level, that you're better than them somehow because you exercise more, which is not true. And just like for me, exercising is important, some other thing might be very important for them, and they are my superiors in that regard. Because when you have these new experiences, we all want to be Prometheus. I'm sure you've also had a friend that tried LSD, and I've been guilty of this. He tried LSD, and then all of a sudden he wants everybody to try because his experience was so magnificent. And like I said, we all want to be Prometheus. Prometheus in Greek mythology, the hero who stole fire from the gods and showed it to humans, which made them more powerful. And he came to a bitter end, but We all want to be the voyager who goes out and brings something valuable to the tribe and shows to everyone, and everyone's so happy that we made it back with this incredibly valuable thing. And it might be even, for the case with LSD, it might be to people's detriment, even because some people just shouldn't be doing psychedelics. It's been widely researched that people with depressive thoughts or history of mental illness in their family should definitely stay away from that. Then, fourth, today I escaped anxiety. Or no, I discarded it because it was within me, in my own perceptions, not outside. And here, what I take from this phrase is that anxiety is an emotion, and an emotion is a chemical reaction to outside events. Also, it's true that perception is reality. The same thing can happen, and it can provoke completely different reactions in different people. So, how can this thing be anxiety inducing when one person is cruising and the other one suddenly has a panic attack? It's because of these two different people's perceptions that make the reality be very negative on one side and not really that all that negative on the other side. So you can just discard this anxiety, and obviously this is easier said than done, and definitely a learned skill, but something that for me I took away from the book, because I'm saying these phrases, but he says them in different ways 10 times throughout the book. So he goes very deeply into these kinds of topics that I'm showing you here. Then, for the last one, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Sometimes we come up against these insurmountable obstacles and we think, this is so bad and this is a crisis. But what we need to understand is that these hurdles are themselves the path to success. And even if the obstacle is insurmountable, you'll find a way around it, and that in itself is your path to success. So this is a phrase, and it's very powerful. When mid crisis you actually think of this, like sometimes you'll be doing some work or something happens in your life and you get extremely anxious, super out of yourself, and if you think, no, wait, I can take the best of this and just try to work it out as well as I can, and I'm sure I'll find a solution for this. And it's also really good to think that worthwhile efforts are not meant to be easy. So why am I surprised when this is hard? If I'm trying to do something that is worthwhile, this is very powerful stuff for me. And that's the end of the video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have you read this book? Are you gonna take a shot at it? I love the book. I think it's top three of the books I've ever read. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you soon. Be safe.